IKEA isn't just a place to get budget furniture. It's actually full of pieces that interior designers use all the time. Hidden between the basics, there are actually tons of standout items designers swear by. So today we're going to another IKEA designer's favorite roundup, the high-end pieces that work in any space. I'm On, this is Mars, and we love all things IKEA DIY and interior design. So before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, and hit that like button to never miss another video again. Now let's go! We're kicking things off with a designer's favorite, and that is the MÖRBYLÅNGA dining table. This is one of those anchor pieces designers love to build a room around. It has that solid, grounded presence that makes a dining space feel established. The beautiful wood finish adds warmth, but the clean lines keep it modern, which makes it incredibly versatile, fitting almost any space. You'll see designers pair it with everything from classic chairs to more sculptural seating, and it always holds its own. It's one of those tables that you buy once. Quality piece, looks so good, and definitely makes a space. The next designer IKEA favorite is of course the LOMMARP Cabinet, which feels like a vintage find but without the hunt. No doubt why designers love it. It adds character instantly, especially in spaces that need a bit more depth. Whether it's used as a bar cabinet, dining storage, or even in a hallway, it brings that slightly traditional layered look that makes a home feel so elevated. I've especially seen the version with glass doors. It's so good for styling, letting designers display pieces without it feeling cluttered. Plus, those handles look like they belong in a vintage thrift store, not IKEA. Next up, we have the FORSÅ lamp, and let me tell you, this one has been one of those quiet classics that just always works. Designers love it because it's simple, adjustable, and simply iconic. The adjustable arm lets you direct light exactly where you need it, which makes it as practical as it is aesthetic. But what really makes it a favorite is that slightly industrial, timeless look, especially in this shiny steel version. It works on desks, bedside tables, and even on shelves, and always adds that slightly industrial, functional edge. Now next we have one of my personal favorites, and that is the EKET Cabinet. Now designers treat EKET more like a building block than a finished product, and that's exactly why it's such a favorite. On its own, it's clean, minimal, and compact, but the real magic happens when you start combining it. You can actually mount it on the wall for that floating built-in look, stack multiple units to create a custom storage wall, or even use it as a sleek nightstand or media console. What makes it stand out is how easy it adapts to different spaces and styles, and because the proportions are so clean and consistent, everything looks intentional. It's also one of the easiest ways to get that high-end custom cabinetry feel without the cost. It looks simple, it gives you so much control over how your space comes together, and that's what makes it such a gem. The next IKEA designer's favorite is the Duveline Swirl chair, and let me tell you, this one is an icon on its own. This chair was originally a part of IKEA's older designs from the 70s and has now been reintroduced with a fresh, updated look, and it still holds on to that retro charm that made it special in the first place. What designers love about it is that sculptural, low-slung shape that instantly adds character to a space. It doesn't feel like just another chair, it feels like a real statement. The curves are soft, the silhouette is bold, the fabric adds texture, and the swirl base adds that extra layer of function that makes it perfect for relaxed, lived-in spaces. It's really the kind of piece you use when you want to break up a room visually, in a corner next to a sofa, or even in bedrooms, because it draws attention without overwhelming everything else. And speaking of chairs, another chair I've seen designers use over and over again is this beautiful office chair. This one doesn't feel like a typical office seating, and that's exactly why designers love using it. The curved shape and wood details soften the look so much, making it feel more like part of the room rather than something purely functional. It's perfect for home offices that need to blend into living spaces without disrupting the overall aesthetic, which makes it the perfect chair to have in your home office. I love the wood details, and that base make it look so aesthetic and definitely a piece worth checking. Now moving on to textiles, one of the products I've seen designers get at Ikea is actually curtains, and none other than the DYTÅG curtains. These are one of those Ikea staples designers keep coming back to, mainly because they're made from linen, and that alone changes everything about how they feel in the space. Linen has that natural texture and softness that instantly makes a room feel more layered, more relaxed, and way more elevated than standard curtains ever could. When they're hanged properly with enough length so they just lightly touch or puddle at the floor, they completely transform a room. The fabric folds in this effortless, slightly imperfect way that feels very intentional and very designed, even if the space itself is simple. It adds height and keeps that calm, airy look that designers are always trying to achieve. Definitely one of those rare budget IKEA finds that doesn't look budget at all, especially once it's styled right. Next up, we have this cushion cover. This is another one of those small IKEA pieces that designers use to instantly soften and finish a space. It doesn't feel stiff or overly polished, instead it adds that quiet layer of softness that makes a room feel more lived in and comfortable. And what really makes it useful in designs is the colors it comes in. They sit in this muted neutral range that works as a base rather than a statement, which means it can ground almost any palette without chasing or competing. Designers often use pieces like this to tie together different textures and tones in a room, letting brighter accents or richer materials stand out, while this just holds everything together in the background. Now another one of my personal favorites designers will usually reach for is actually the GUTTANE Coffee table. This one has that clean mid-century inspired silhouette that instantly brings structure to a living room, but it's subtle enough to let the rest of the space breathe. The proportions are really well balanced, low enough to feel relaxed, but still substantial enough to anchor a sitting area properly. There is also a warmth to it that makes the space feel more inviting. It doesn't feel overly polished or cold, which is why it works so well in both minimal interiors and more layered, cozy ones. It's a staple piece for sure, not flashy, not trendy, but a timeless piece that consistently makes a room feel more put together and complete. And we're finishing off with a rug that's actually new at IKEA, but I've already heard people talk about it so much, and that is this beautiful checkered pattern rug. This pattern breaks up neutral rooms in a really effortless way, adding movement without overwhelming everything else. Designers often use rugs like this under coffee tables or in seating areas to define the space. It brings that slightly playful edge, but still feels grown up and intentional. The color palette is so beautiful. You can pull colors from it for cushions, throws, or decor, and suddenly the whole room feels cohesive. It's definitely not a background piece, it's something that quietly shapes the entire look of the space, which is exactly why it's so good. And that's a wrap for today. Now tell me, which designer favorite was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to never miss another video again. Ringing the notification bell and allowing all notifications is the perfect way to get notified whenever I post, so make sure to do that to stay tuned. Now, without further ado, let's head on to Mars and get into some story time for our beloved subscribers that come here week after week. Let's go. Hi, Mars. Hi, buddy. I love you so much. You know that? Guys, a little story time. Mars is getting a surgery this week, and we've all been a bit nervous. Let's switch the camera actually. So Marcy boy here will get neutered, and I know it's an easy procedure, but I've been just dying out of worries, of course, since I care about him so much, and the anesthesia is what worries me most. And I really would appreciate if you send all of your love in the comment section below for Mars. Actually, that's why Zara isn't here this week, since she's in her heat. She just got her period, and we've been planning on this for quite some time now. I know it's better for him and for his health and for he living his best life, but how could I not worry, right? So please, guys, send us some love. Send us some love. We really need it. And hopefully next week he's just in his best energy again, and they will be together with Zara again. Just let's pray everything goes well, and I'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye.